Okay, so let's talk about some pretty big movie news that has just recently dropped this week. I think we're going to be recapping movie news like this every week or every 3-4 days. Let's let them accumulate and then we talk about all of them. Before we get into these news right here, I want to let you know we are running a giveaway. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is be subscribed and comment below your thoughts and opinions or your favorite news that we talk about or just whatever you want. And that gets you an entry into the giveaway. We will announce a winner at 30,000 subscribers. But let's get into this first piece of news, which is that A24 has picked up a new project with Adam Wingard directing and Simon Barret writing. The duo, of course, are known for The Guest and You're Next. Adam Wingard recently also did Godzilla x Kong. So according to this report right here, it sounds like this was something that was being shopped around. The upcoming action thriller is called Onslaught, and it will be coming to us from the duo that brought us The Guest and You're Next. Like I said, two films that I think are very good. And one thing I am hoping is that Dan Stevens comes through and is a part of this, because that would definitely be amazing. So there are no plot details just yet, no casting or anything like that. I was just hoping that Dan Stevens does end up being in this movie, but we'll see what happens. Adam Wingard is coming off the high of Godzilla x Kong, which is currently the highest grossing MonsterVerse film. So let's move on to another director that I'm excited for their next project, which is Zach Cregger's horror movie Weapons. So this film has definitely been on our radar ever since Barbarian, and they announced that Zach Cregger was going to have a new film coming out. So Deadline reports that Benedict Wong has joined the cast, Amy Madigan, Austin Abrams, Carrie Christopher. This is as well already us knowing Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, as well as Alden Ehrenreich will be in the film. This is being called a mysterious horror film that is also an multi and interrelated story horror epic, as they're describing, sort of similar to Magnolia, which was another film from a up-and-coming filmmaker at the time, Paul Thomas Anderson. So Cregger definitely has a lot going for them right now. Barbarian was a huge hit. It was met with great reception. It was one of our favorite movies of 2022, one of our most surprising ones. Let me tell you, that trailer, I was in the mix with it whenever it would come up, and I just didn't know how to feel. Went to watch the movie, mind completely blown. It actually helped the channel a lot at the time. We were very much so stuck in a sort of subscriber level, and then we talked about that movie, completely took off. So one of those films as well. But we're excited for Weapons and whatever this movie is going to be. Let's talk about another horror film. It feels like we're just talking horror, but that's usually what we talk about, right? Flesh of the Gods, Kristen Stewart, Oscar Isaac, in an 80s vampire film from Panos Cosmatos. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they are the director behind Mandy. Kristen Stewart, of course, coming off of Love Lies Bleeding. But also, one thing to note here is that Andrew Kevin Walker, the writer of Seven and The Killer, wrote the screenplay as well. The Variety details that the storyline is set in the 80s LA, and basically it says married couple Raul and Alex each evening descend from their luxury skyscraper condo and head into the city's electric nighttime realm. Sounds interesting. They cross paths with a mysterious and enigmatic figure known as Nameless and her hard partying cabal. The pair are seduced into glamorous surrealistic world of hedonism, thrills, and violence. Both propulsive and hypnotic, Flesh will take you on a hot rod joyride deep into the glittering heart of hell. Producer Adam McKay also adds, the director, this writer, these incredible actors, vampires, choice 80s punk style and attitude for miles. That's the film we're bringing you today. We think it's wildly commercial and wildly artful. Our ambitions are to make a film that ripples through popular culture, fashion, music, and film. Can you tell how excited I am? The project will be launching in Cannes, so we're definitely excited for this. Oscar Isaac and Kristen Stewart are two of our favorite actors, honestly, working today. And this whole idea of this 80s vampire and hearing that word hedonism and all of that gives me Infinity Pool vibes added to it, Los Angeles. It's just the right mixture, and we could definitely have a hit on our hands. So if you are a fan of Megan 2.0, of course, has already been announced. And now we have Ivana Sakno joining the horror sequel. So Ivana Sakno comes from Ahsoka and Let It Snow. They are reportedly having a major role in the upcoming sequel. Allison Williams and Violet McGraw are back for the sequel as well, with Akilah Cooper writing. So we're definitely getting something along the lines of Megan again. Akilah Cooper, just an underrated writer, honestly. Anything they do, I'm always there. That's a for sure fact. But we don't know much more about the plot details. Some people are theorizing that the Ivana actress might be playing the rival doll, because apparently that's a whole thing going on. But we'll see what happens. Let me know about Megan 2.0 if you're there, if you're not. But we are excited for it nonetheless. I was a fan of Megan. I think it had great parts to it. I wasn't like over the moon with it, but it was a fun horror film. So somebody is playing FTCU, probably because Maxine has just shown us a new image in which we see Maxine in the club. We don't know much more than that. We do know its rating, and other than that, we are in the dark for it, but we do have a theory video talking about what exactly could be happening in Maxine. Really would love if you go check that out, and we will be talking more about Maxine whenever we get more images, whenever we get more footage and all of that. Your best bet is to come to this channel because we're breaking it all down. But let me know what you think about this club picture and if you're excited for it or not. But speaking of A24, let's talk about the Talk to Me directors. Talk about the Talk to Me directors, Michael and Danny Philippou, who of course have the highest grossing horror film for A24 with Talk to Me, which came out a year ago. Let's talk about Talk to Me directors Michael and Danny Philippou's next film, with Sally Hawkins now starring. Bring Her Back is the new horror film they will be doing for A24. Plot details are being kept under wraps, but it is being produced by the same duo who produced Talk to Me. Of course, you have the directors back. Sally Hawkins nominated for The Shape of Water. What a great film. And I'm excited to see what the directors are going to be doing next. Of course, there is a Talk to Me sequel on the way sometime down the road. I'm not the biggest fan about it because I just don't see what they could do with a sequel. But if they can do it right, they can do it right, and I'll shut my mouth. But nonetheless, excited that they will be doing another horror film, and I can't wait to see what it's going to be about. But let me know what you thought about Talk to Me, if you enjoyed it or not, and if you're excited for the Philippou brothers to come back to horror. Speaking of horror, and I think this whole video was just horror, right? But let's talk about the two new Evil Dead movies that are on the way. One from Sebastian Vanisek and one from Francis Gallipy. So Francis Gallipy's next film, The Last Stop in Yuma County, will be coming out this month. This is a film we had the chance to watch at Fantastic Fest, and honestly, watching that film, I want the Evil Dead people to let Francis make a Western Evil Dead, because my, oh my, that would definitely hit so hard. But we also know that Vanisek, who did Infested, which we also watched in Fantastic Fest, the Fantastic Fest alum just seemed to be doing all the Evil Dead movies now. So Vanisek did Infested, which is another film that I really enjoyed, and that one kind of felt a bit more like the Evil Dead Rise with the whole apartment complex aspect of it. But I'm excited to see what they're doing with Evil Dead, because I think that they definitely are doing some interesting stuff here with the Evil Dead franchise right now. And it's great to see the revival of it, especially after I felt I went a little bit lukewarm. Like, you had Evil Dead from Fede Alvarez, which I thought was great. Then you had the Ash versus the Evil Dead show that went on for a couple of seasons, which was fine. I really wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I know a lot of people really love that show. And, you know, things were just a little lukewarm. I'm excited that things are getting back and hot for it, and we'll see what happens. If there is something to be told, there is something to be told, and I hope it's just done in the best way possible. But let me know what you think about Evil Dead getting 2 movies, or do you think this franchise is going a little bit too fast? Let me know in the comments down below. So let's talk about this news that Mike Flanagan will be directing the next Exorcist film. So according to Deadline, Mike Flanagan, the director behind Oculus and Dr. Sleep, is in talks with Universal and Blumhouse to bring forth the next Exorcist film. Of course, we know that Blumhouse had purchased the rights to make a trilogy that was like a $400 million purchase, and now they are trying to see where it goes next. David Gordon Green's Exorcist Believer went on to make $137 million. Of course, that was a little bit shy away from what they probably wanted to make, but David Gordon Green nonetheless exited the franchise last a couple of months ago, back in January, and now we know that David Gordon Green went on to do other things, And so that seat was always vacant. Who was going to come in and take the place of David Gordon Green? Because Blumhouse needs to make that money in Universal back, right? So they have to get something right. They got to make a quick buck. It turns out that now we might just have somebody who will be taking the reins of this franchise, and potentially the best choice, in my opinion, when it comes to a director with a good name and good filmography to back them up, and that is Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan, of course, did the best, in my opinion, horror sequel with Dr. Sleep. So I'm very curious what they will do with The Exorcist. No word yet if they're going to continue with what David Gordon Green already started in Believer, or if they're going to take it into a whole different realm with it. We do know that at the end of Believer, Linda Blair showed up. So could they possibly be wanting to do something with Blair? Just no word on it yet. Everything's still up in the air. There's just talks and all of that. But as soon as we get a concrete answer, you'll be sure to hear from me. I'm going to come out and say it, y'all. I'm a believer, an Exorcist believer. I still enjoyed it. I thought there was some interesting stuff there that David Gordon Green explored. And I think the only flaw in that movie was trying to sort of tie it too much to the original, because I thought that it was still a great horror film. So I don't know. We'll see what Mike Flanagan does. I'm excited to see, and let me know what you think about it in the comments below. But anyways, that is going to do it for me. Just want to talk about some news and all of that. Let me know what y'all think about this sort of way of doing it, where I just wait to round up a bunch of news and then talk about it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or is this something that should definitely continue on? Let me know in the comments down below. But as always, that's going to do it for me. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We are running a giveaway. If you want to enter that giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed. Make sure you comment down below which movie news you like the most, or anything at all, and that gets you an entry into the giveaway. But as always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.